Hi, I'm Paul Shred, International Editor at Cyber Express, and with me is Ankit Sharma, Senior Director and Head of Solution Engineering at Threat Intelligence Leader Cyble, and we're here to talk about deepfakes. Welcome, Ankit, and it's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Why don't we start with the big picture? What are the major trends you're seeing in deepfakes?
Whatever we have seen till now, Paul, I think it's just 1% of what is going to come in next 3 years, right? And we have already seen a lot of bad stuff happening. Obviously, it's a double-edged sword, right? It offers innovative possibilities, but it also poses, a significant risk to, and we really need to be very careful with deepfakes, right? So the risk that we all are seeing right now is obviously the escalation of deepfake-driven cybercrimes, right? I'm sure a lot of us might have received a lot of fake audio calls, the videos impersonating your senior executives, right? So one thing is for sure, bad guys are leveraging AI to its full potential right now, right? So I read an interesting, stat somewhere just this morning that although it's just 1% of what it can be in next 3 years, it is already accounting for around 10% of the total fraud which actually happened in 2023 and 2024. Right, so it's an alarming number, right? And it happened very fast, right? We didn't used to hear anything till 2020, 2021 that some kind of a deepfake kind of a crime is actually happening. But yeah, at an individual level, also there's a lot of cybercrime which is happening. There is surge in non-consensual deepfake content. We are seeing a lot of pornographic material on the individuals floating around, right? And it's creating a lot of issues in the public. And then obviously with every election across the globe, we have seen there's a lot of political manipulation which is happening, disinformation which is floating, right? So there are a lot of things which is creating some kind of insurgence in the minds of the people. Yeah.
That is a lot of stuff, and all of it bad. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what are the biggest threats that businesses and consumers face here, and where do you see those threats going?
Well, if you ask me honestly, the biggest concern, what I feel is that the aspect that this technology is grant individuals, with the technical expertise, is the ability to create videos that can undermine the very concept of truth itself, right? You don't know what is right, what is wrong, right? It is very misleading. For business, obviously, we have seen a lot of fraud and financial losses. We have read a lot of stories, news, like cyber criminal use deepfake audio, video to impersonate the executives, right? And then obviously everything ends to one thing, that transfer me some money, and we are still falling prey for that kind of a card, right? Reputation damage is definitely which is happening. A lot of senior executives, some kind of fake controversies being floated in the market to harm the public, image and all those things. Malicious disinformation. We have seen, in fact, I think day before yesterday, also my team was doing some kind of a takedown, which was involved, which was like a intellectual property theft, where one of the agencies who used to post the training material on YouTube, their material was found somewhere else, and the images of their trainers were being used, and it was the mimicking of their proprietary videos, right? So there is obviously intellectual property theft which is happening, erosion of trust, as I told you, right? Right now, nobody knows what is right or wrong, right? And with all this, that legal and compliances also comes into the picture. Same thing for the for the consumers also happening. Financial scams are happening when the fraudsters are portraying themselves as one of their known, asking for money, identity theft, right? The reputation is being harmed by floating off some kind of nudity related material and things like that. So yeah, all these things are actually happening, right? And there are a lot of evidences that we are seeing in the market right now.
Yeah. Well, it's a terrible thing. There is some people who are losing lots of money, and people who probably can't afford it either.
Money, anytime you can gain back, but the reputation which is harmed, this is the biggest concern.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So what can people and organizations do to protect themselves? Are there steps they can take here?
Obviously, there are countermeasures, right? But the thing with these technologies, right? It can't be 100% ever. It can't be 100% ever, right? So first of all, right now what we are seeing is just 1% of what can actually happen in the future. There are things that what I feel is, because due to due to the novelty of this particular technique, right? There is not that much use right now. But once it is freely available with every individual, I assume that there is definitely going to be an increase in the deepfake videos, right? And the consequences of this would be far-reaching. It can ignite political or religious tensions between the nations, deceive public, disrupt financial markets, right? And we have seen some examples of that in the recent past, right? So, what I expect the most significant future deepfake will be doing is that involving a recognizable person, depict a human action, can be understood with a limited or additional context, right, which can be understood by everyone, right? It can elicit an emotional response, and the response should be enough to affect opinions or incite some kind of action. And all these, 4 or 5 things are going to match in a particular video. This is the kind of stuff which I feel is going to come in the future, right? And right now, the most of the things that we are seeing is related to nudity. But in future days, there will be a lot of cyberbullying through deepfakes, or political disinformation is anyway spreading, polarizing the citizens. And we also have seen that right now people are using deepfakes to do, the market manipulation as well, right? So all these things are happening. You asked that, what we can do to counter these things. First of all, we should be aware about these things, that it is the reality, right? And you should always be skeptical, right? Whenever you see something. So imagine, you are a shareholder of Tesla, and you see a video of Elon Musk, right, engaging with some kind of a terrorist group, right? Maybe for the SpaceX or something like that, right? You will immediately sell that particular share of Tesla, right? You're not going to be a shareholder anymore. So these are the kind of things that you should be always vigilant, that there can be an element of fakeness in these kind of things as well, right? But the countermeasures, the basic countermeasures that a business can take is obviously there. Right now, every business, what I feel is they have to invest in the detection tools, right? At least they should secure their senior executives and their brand logos, trademarks, and things like that, so that these kind of things should not come up in a deepfake video or something, right? Training of their employees is now they have to move away from the traditional phishing training, right? Now you have to train your employees of to how to identify or how to respond to a deepfake scam, right, or a phishing attempt for that matter, right? Creating awareness about identifying unusual requests, especially involving the financial transactions, right? Strengthening the authentication process is something which is there from a long time. Companies really need to invest on that. And what I feel is that blocking of all the websites and application that are not genuine or not useful for a business to perform its normal function, right? People should not be given a liberty to download or consume data from anywhere that they like, right? For consumers, for people like you and me, we should always be skeptical of media content. Before sharing anything, we should actually check the authenticity of it. That is something which we can do, a big favor to the humanity right now, right? By actually, before sharing some content, checking the authenticity of it, right? Secure your online presence, because ultimately this is also a tool. It captures that data from your own persona which you have posted on social media. So if somebody is going to create a deepfake on you, they are going to take the pictures and videos from your social media channels only. So just secure your online presence, do a regular check on your privacy settings on social media platforms, right? Important thing, always use authentic sources, right? If you are going on a video call, make sure it is something that you're doing on a known source, right? There are a lot of identification tools also available in the market, right? You can use that to see whether the content is deepfake or not, And whenever you see any kind of a suspicious thing, immediately report it to the concerned platform or to the authorities. Right. So yeah. So in a nutshell, the promoting the media literacy is very important. And I think the content creators should be more transparent now, right? By providing at least a label or a tag that this particular video, which is available on this platform, is an AI generated thing. These are the basic things that we can do to secure ourselves.
Yeah. So in a weird way, it's a new threat, but kind of the same old answer, which is just to be really careful, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
Paul. Just it is like that. Till date, there are so many antivirus, but they can only detect those kind of virus which are old. If there is any modification that is done on those malwares, those viruses, right, and if the signature is not available, they can't detect it. Same thing is going to happen, right? We are going to develop a lot of tools, but those tools are also going to be available with the bad guys, right? They are also going to run their videos on those tools, right? And the content which is not detected by those tools only, that is the same content that they're going to float in the internet, right? So it's the same old situation. Everything boils down to one thing: use your common sense.
Is there anything that policymakers can do to help here? Are there laws or regulations that could possibly help the situation?
I am not, a legal guy, but I don't know there are any regulations specific to deepfake content. But although, one thing that you have to understand is that it's not a technology, it's the intent that actually matters, right? So there, if somebody is using a technology to create a pornographic material, yeah, laws are there for that. For circulating or disseminating the pornographic material on internet and things like that, there are laws, right, under which you can get punished. There are laws to do, financial crimes, maybe through whatever means you are using, could be a deepfake audio or video. There are laws for that as well. But yeah, to tackle this particular issue, because right now we are just at the inception of it, right? There are going to be a lot more challenging stuff that we are going to see in the future. But so it's better that the policymakers should gear up themselves from now on, right? And then what I feel is, first of all, they should start with defining what is deepfake, right? Establish a clear legal deepfake, define creative use, harmful or malicious applications, classify specific types of deepfake, right? Could be like non-consensual pornography, fraudulent impersonation, and these kind of things should be classified as a criminal offense, right? Right now, there's a lot of gray area. People don't know what is a legal or illegal use of deepfake technology. So I think this is something which should be established across the globe. And then also, we need to enforce the accountability, impose some penalties on or for creating or distributing harmful deepfakes, include some kind of fines, imprisonment, things like that, so that people should be worried before posting these kind of things, right? In fact, there should be some kind of enforced accountability on the platforms as well, where all this type of content is getting posted, right? So there is definitely some kind of accountability which should be enforced on them. Then, then obviously you need to protect the victims, right? It can't be like like it's not a normal case if some kind of a pornographic material related to an individual is floating in the internet, which is not legit, right? You need to provide the legal remedy to that that victim, so that their request can be fast tracked, the takedown can be fast tracked. So you need to provide certain you know uh, remedies to these guys who are becoming the victim of these kind of things, right? Faster claim settlements, faster takedown processes. This is something which I think the policymakers should think about, right, and introduce as soon as possible. And other thing is that I think that now there should be certain guidelines which provides you, or which actually mandates the transparency, right? If I'm a creator of any kind of synthetic media, I have to include a watermark or a metadata indicating that, hey, the content that I'm sharing is a deepfake content, right? It is an AI generated content, right? Or, then I think there should be some kind of obligations on, or not obligation, but basically you should incentivize the proactive measures, such as using AI tools to screen uploaded content on the social media platforms, right? So they can start building it in their core technology, right? There are things that we call in privacy world as privacy by design and privacy by default. So these things should come on the platforms by default, right? That there should be a level of analyzer which can actually analyze whether the content is AI generated or not. The most important thing is obviously we need to promote the media literacy, right? We need to launch campaign, educate public about deepfakes, their risk, and know how to actually identify the manipulated content, right? So it's not that difficult to identify those kind of content. For now, at least for now, the technology is not that advanced, right? And I think going forward, it is going to be a very big risk, and these kind of things should be included in the curriculums of the school-going kids or the college-going kids, right? And yeah, we need to encourage the ethical use of AI. Foster public discussions on the ethical implications of AI, right? And I think now it's the time for the government to actually work with the industry leaders who are doing a lot of research in this particular field, right? And take their help in forming the guidelines and rolling out the technologies to general public. So yeah, there are certain things which the policymakers need to do ASAP.
Yeah, so it sounds like everyone has things to do here too, like even the platforms. So definitely some interesting points. Yeah. Huh. Speaking of platforms, why don't we talk about what Cyble does here? How does Cyble's deepfake detection and takedown service work, and what can it do for companies?
Yep. So basically, what we are doing is, in a nutshell, we are using good AI to fight the bad AI, right? So obviously, we are also leveraging a lot on the AI technologies. So in Cyble, what we have done is, we have created a module for the detection of deepfake, and obviously, it is also enhancing day by day as the nature of threat is evolving. We are also evolving our platform. Right now, we are securing a lot of companies and their senior executives, right? So what basically we are doing is we are monitoring any kind of a content related to a particular company or their senior executive being posted on various social media platforms or internet in general. And then we run those contents through our AI algorithms, our backend engine, right, that we have developed to detect the deepfake detections. And it works on various modules, right? So let's say, Paul, I have your image, right? And I have seen a lot of videos about you, right? So I know what kind of a motion, a lip movement motion Paul makes, or what kind of eye motions he is actually making. Training our models in that way to identify is there any kind of anomaly in the motion, detecting or checking what kind of video quality is there, right? Checking what kind of lighting and all those things are available, audio quality, right? Does it sound like our AI generated voice or not, right? There are multiple checks that we do at the backend to detect these things, and obviously we have our own in-house takedown team as well. So as I was just explaining you that couple of days back only we were doing the takedown of some kind of AI generated content, right? So we have a dedicated team of some very experienced researchers and the analysts who are actually providing the takedown services on the AI generated content. So we are already doing it for some of the biggest companies across the globe, right? So yeah, and this is something which we are also evolving ourselves, right? Right now, no technology offers 100%, on detecting the AI and all these things. But yeah, we are evolving, and till now, our success rate in taking down the content, the deepfake content is around 100%. We have taken down almost all the takedown. We have taken up from our customers.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So the value then is that you're keeping companies from having fakes out there and kind of spoofing sort of a situation. Maybe someone is someone is impersonating them online, and so Cyble can come in and just take that down. Is that one of the biggest benefits?
Yeah. anything which is not under the legit use of that particular material, right? We can take down, right? And yeah, so that's what it's just like any other takedown process that we do, right? For any kind of a social media impersonation. So
Yeah.
over here also, it is if there is something illegal, something non-legit that is available on the internet, we need to take it down, and that's what we are doing. Everyone at an individual level also, I request everyone to be extra cautious whenever you see something sensitive. The good thing is that right now the audience or the normal citizen or normal human being, they are so well versed to, because they are consuming a lot of data on from the internet, right? They all are on TikTok, they all are on various social media platforms, they are all consuming the reels. By now they know that what kind of data actually looks fishy or what kind of image actually looks fishy, right? So it's a good thing. Use your common sense. It's not that difficult to identify whether the data is fake or the image is fake or not. You just use your common sense, and whenever there is any kind of financials involved, I myself have I have got a lot of fake calls from, let's say, from a police officer, that they have caught one of my brother or sister or someone, right? And in order to release them from jail, I have to transfer some money to them. And the voice, they actually handed over the phone to the individual. I know it's all AI generated, but the voice also matched exactly like my brother. So it is happening, I think, with everyone. But you have to be extra vigilant when these kind of things actually happen. And if it has not happened with you, it is definitely going to happen with you. So be extra cautious.
Wow, that is some scary stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right. So be careful out there, and and get tools that can help, like Cyble's, right?
Yep. Cyble, and your first line of defense is your common sense.
Yeah.
So use it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Our guest has been Ankit Sharma of threat intelligence leader Cyble, and we've been talking about the growing problem of deepfakes. Great talk. Thank you for your time, and to our audience also. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Take care, everyone. Thank you.